Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. One of the things that's been repeated quite a bit about the Trayvon Martin case is that if a black person had been standing over a white person that he had just killed, he would never have been given the benefit of the doubt that George Zimmerman got. And especially if this black person had chased the white person, picked a fight with him, and then killed him and tried to claim self-defense, well, you know, his claims of self-defense would have been just laughed at. It is just simply a fact that can't be argued with that black people and other minorities are routinely arrested and charged and prosecuted, even in circumstances where the evidence overwhelmingly favors their innocence. And many times they will be convicted of crimes they didn't commit. This has something to do with unethical behavior by prosecutors and sometimes judges too. The Innocence Project has exonerated 289 people wrongly convicted of crimes like murder and rape through DNA testing. 180 of them were black. And if you add all the minorities together, it's 3 times as many as white people. Now, it is true that if you're a poor white man, you might get convicted of a crime you didn't commit too. And it's a tragedy when anybody gets convicted of a crime they didn't commit. But if you're a minority, the odds of it happening go way up. Take the case of Howard Morgan. This was a black railroad policeman who was recently convicted of attempted murder. Now here's the thing, he was shot 28 times by policemen from another division, unaffiliated with the railroad. Forensic tests prove that he had never fired his gun. The police who shot him falsely claimed that he did. And yet, despite the evidence that the police had lied and the evidence that he had never fired his gun, he was still convicted. Or take the case of Kenneth Chamberlain, who was asleep at his home in White Plains, New York, when he accidentally triggered his medic alert. It was on a necklace. Well, when he woke up, he realized that he triggered the alarm, but the medic alert company had already called the police and they were on their way over there. So he let the company know that he was not having a problem, that he was okay, and that the alarm being triggered was accidental. But the police were arriving on the scene. The medic alert company did call the dispatcher and said, look, everything's okay, cancel the alert. And the dispatcher refused to. He even said, we ain't canceling shit. So the police arrived on the scene and Mr. Chamberlain informed them that the alarm was triggered by accident and that he was okay. And he asked them to leave. Now you have to remember, this was a medical call. No crime had been committed or reported. Once the police knew he was okay, they no longer had any reason to be there. But they demanded to be let in. And when they were refused, they broke in. And first they tasered Mr. Chamberlain, and then they murdered him. To be specific, Officer Anthony Corelli murdered him. And then the police concocted a lie about Mr. Chamberlain attacking them. One cop said he had an axe, the other said he had a knife. See, that's the thing when you lie. Sometimes you mess up the details. But the taser that they used had a camera on it. And it clearly showed Mr. Chamberlain standing still with his hands at his sides, unarmed. And the box from the medical alert company was recording everything. And it recorded the cops using racial slurs as they broke in, attacked, and murdered Mr. Chamberlain. Now, these are two among thousands of cases, but they illustrate my point. If a black cop shot 28 times who never fired his weapon doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, if an unarmed 68-year-old man in his home with a heart condition doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, what chance does any minority have in an unclear situation on the street? And let me tell you something. The people who are responsible for these laws, they know this just as well as I do. This is a white people only law. It is designed to give white people the opportunity to kill minorities and receive a get-out-of-jail-free card. See, the gun nuts up at the NRA, well, they love their guns a lot. And they don't feel they get to use them enough. So they push through these laws allowing them to bring their guns into all kinds of situations where they really don't belong, like schools and parks and bars and so on. Because this will provide them with more opportunities to use their guns. And then they can claim that they felt threatened and acted in self-defense. Let me tell you something. I hope someday somebody goes to a meeting of the NRA with an AK-47 and wipes everybody out. He can then claim he felt threatened by them. And he was standing his ground. Because when you think about it, they are a bunch of batshit crazy, scary motherfuckers. Thanks for listening.